Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video of project management, we will discuss about the project visibility. So let's move to our demo database. So now I am with the admin login, accessing the Odoo database. So if I switch to the project menu and I open again that office design project, if I added this one, here you can see in the visibility tag that there are three different options. The first one is the invited employees, second one is the all employees, and third one is the portal users with all employees. So we will discuss each and every option one by one. And the first option is invited employees. So if I save this project with invited employees and I save this, actually by using this invited employees we will access if we log in this invited employees, then the effect will be that when we use invited employees, then the project's tasks and subtasks can be seen only by the internal users who are also followers. What this by mean? That's mean that only the invited employees who are also the followers of this one. If we want to see the list of the followers, then we can see here that if we click on this icon, so then we can see that there are two followers. If I open this one, then we can see the names of that followers. Let's say if I just reduce the now here we can say that we have two followers, and the first follower is Mr. Mujahid and the second follower is Mr. Hamad Rashid. Actually Hamad Rashid is the internal user and Mr. Mujahid is the external user. Let's say if I change this system sequence 1, I remove this follower from this list and I add a new follower. Let's say I add the name of Sarfaraz. When I am adding the follower, actually I am inviting that follower to this project. I have the option that either I want to send an email or don't, so I click this option off and I add Mr. Sarfaraz as a follower of this project. Now here is the list of the two followers. First one is Mr. Sarfaraz, who is the internal user, and the second one is Mr. Mujahid, who is the portal user. That means he is the external users. So according to our definition, because the visibility is the invited employees, so only the internal users should have the access to this project. That means only Mr. Sarfaraz, who is the internal employee, he should have the access to this project. And if Mr. Mujahid wants to access this one, so Mr. Mujahid should not be in a position to see this project. Now let's we want to test this one, that either our this you can say implementation or visibility restriction that we have applied is applicable or not. Now I switch from this admin login to my user login. So if I switch to my user login, and here I log in with the login of Sarfaraz. And then I want to try Sarfaraz, and then Sarfaraz, and I go to the project tab. Here we can see that office design is in his dashboard. That means Mr. Sarfaraz can access this office design, but you can see that that three dots are there. That means Mr. Sarfaraz is the project user. He cannot edit the settings of that project, and even he cannot create the new projects. He can only access this project by clicking on the tasks. He have not the access to the overview and other settings. Just he can access the tasks and can manage these tasks. That means he can drag and drop the positions, or even can access the task in the form view, or yes, or if we go back to this, he have the access to all these views. Even he can create the new task. So Mr. Sarfaraz can access that project. He cannot create the new project. He can access the project, and he can access inside all the tasks or tickets of that project. He can change the status of the tasks, or he can even change the priority, or he can create the different you can say activities or other attributes of the tasks. He can change, or he can create the new tasks. Now we switch from this Mr. Sarfraz login. I log out here, and let's say if I log in with the login of Hamad. With the password of Hamad. And I move to the project menu. You can see here that Office Design project is in the list of Mr. Hamad's projects, but in the setting of this Office Design project, we have added only Mr. Sarfraz and Mr. Mujahid as the followers of the list. So why Mr. Hamad have the access to this this project? The reason is that Mr. Hamad, the privilege of Mr. Hamad in the system is as project manager. So project manager have the access to all the projects, and even project manager can change the attributes of that project, and he can take the overview of the project, and even he have the access to create the new projects. So that restriction will not apply on the role of the project manager. Project manager will have the access to all the projects, and he will be in a position to create the project or change the attributes of the projects. Now let's say we log out from this login and log in with another login, that is Mazhar. That is another internal project, and his name is not in the list of followers. I log in from his login into the system, and now I access this project menu. You can see here that that project is not in the list. So I have accessed the system with the 3 internal users. One is Mr. Sarfraz. He has access to this project because his name was in the followers list. Then I access the system with the login of Hamad. He can access the system also because he is the project manager. And then third, I access the system with the login of Mr. Mazhar. He have not access to that system because his name was not in the followers list. Now again I log out from the system, and I log in with another login of portal, that is the third Mr. Mujahid user. That is external user. If I log in from his login, and this is the login of Mr. Mujahid, and you can see that no project is in his list. So our first setting was invited employees only. So in this setting, only the internal users who are the followers of that project have the access to that project, and external users cannot access that project. Our second setting is, if we let's say move to our second setting, that is the all employees. If we apply this setting, then the project corresponding tasks can be viewed by all employees, no matter whether they are followers or not. That means now in this setting there is some relaxation. In the first invited employees setting, only the followers and the project manager had the access to that system. But if we apply this setting all employees, that means now the all internal employees, either their name is in the follower list is exist or not, they can access this system. So let's test this by applying by going on the admin portion, and we change this setting to all employees, and then we save this. Now there's no need to check with I think Sarfraz login or Hamad login. They had the access. Now we will check only with 2 logins. One with Mazhar, because he is the internal user, but his name is not in the followers list. And second, we will check with the login of Mr. Mujahid, that is the portal user. So now let's move to our user logins, and in user logins, first of all, if I have the login of Mr. Mujahid. If I refresh this page, you can see that this Mr. Mujahid have not access to that project. So now I log off and I check with the login of Mazhar. I go to the project and that project is there, because our setting is all employees. So Mr. Mazhar's name is not in the followers list, but he will have the access to that system, and he can get the tasks and so on. Now I apply the third condition, that is that setting is the I think third setting. If we apply in that setting, if I go to the admin panel and I apply the third option, that is the portal users and all employees, that's mean now all internal employees will have the access, and the portal users only that portal users which are in this list. That's mean not all portal users can access this project, only the portal users that are in this followers list and all internal employees. So that's mean by applying this setting, Mr. Mazhar, Sarfraz and Mr. Hamad, because all that are internal employees, they will have the access to the internal to this project. Now we will check with the portal user, either by applying this system, the portal user whose login is Mr. Mujahid, either he have access to this or not. So I switch to that user part, and now if I log out from this Mazhar login and log in with the portal user, yes, now we can see that there is one project. If I open this one, we can see that the project is office design and there are 7 tasks. If I click on this office design, we can see that this one is the customer of, and this is the Mr. Hamad Rashid is the project manager of that project. If I click on these tasks, then we can see that there are these are the different tasks in the project, and these are their current status. Some are in to do state, some are in progress, and some have been completed. If I click on any task out of these, let's say I click on this one, then you can see that the task have been assigned to admin user, and this is the customer one, this is the deadline of that task, and the description of that task if someone will be there, and even that user can comment on this task, and even in the comments he can send some attachments also. So let's say try this one. So suppose nice comment, these are for task room 1 decoration, and even if he attach some files, let's say I check this, I upload this file, then send it. So here now we can see that there is one comment to this one, and that comment is from the ABC Trading Mr. Mujahid, and his comment is nice comment, and he have sent this file in the attachment. So if I move to the next this one, no comment. If I move back and so on, and can get all that information, and if I open this task room 1 decoration from the admin login, then you can see that if I move to the admin login, and from admin login I access this, so there are these 7 tasks, and I access that task room 1 decoration, then we can see, yes, we can see that this was the comment from that user, nice comment, and this was the attachment that he uploaded with that comment. So these are the different security, you can say privacy or visibility options that we can apply on the on our different projects. We have three different options. The most restricted option is invited employees, in which only the followers of internal followers will have the access to the project. Then all employees, in which all the internal employees will have access regardless of their name is in the followers list or not. And in the third option, portal users and all employees, the all internal employees and the portal users whose name is in the followers list can access that system. Now one more option that we missed in the previous video is that here are the different options. One, if I click on this one, then only that tasks will highlight and that have the icon with the green color. That's mean that tasks can are in a position that we can move their tasks on the next stage. If I click on this red one, then the red the tasks with the red icon will highlight, and if we click on this one, then that will highlight, and also will be on the top. Here you can see, if I have clicked this one, then these three tasks are highlighted tasks, and these are on the top of all the tasks. If I click on this red one, then the red one is on the top. If I click on this green, then the green task is on the top. So that was about the visibility of the projects that we have completed in today's video. In the next video we will check other topics like the project ratings, the project types, project profitability, and project planning. Thanks for watching this video, and I will wait for the feedback, and in the meantime I will prepare another video for you. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.